It's NBC 26 at 5. It's day 3 of AirVenture. What impact will the weather have on activities? And fans packing Lambeau Field tonight for the annual shareholders meeting. And President Trump lashing out at his former attorney after newly released tape recording. But those stories and much more. First tonight, we are under a weather alert at this time. Let's check in with meteorologist Gino Recchia with more. Gino.
Mo, a severe thunderstorm watch has been issued for our western counties, and that includes Waupaca, Waushara, Green Lake, and Marquette counties until 11 o'clock this evening. We've been monitoring showers and thunderstorms developing rather quickly from our west, and there is one starting to move towards Shawano County, none of which are under any severe warnings. But just take a look off towards our west. Quite a few showers and thunderstorms, and this is all going to make its way into northeast Wisconsin. A slight risk of severe weather has been issued by the Storm Prediction Center, and that does include the risk of some hail and also some gusty winds. Now, I'll be talking more into detail and also timing out the storms and also the impacts they have coming up in our forecast.
All right, Gino, thank you. And now to an event where thousands of people will be in those weather conditions as AirVenture is underway in Oshkosh. Juliana Falk is live at AirVenture. Juliana, what happens when we do see storms in those areas?
Mo, EAA leaders say weather definitely comes into play when dealing with events like AirVenture, especially with the air shows. They say it all depends on the severity of the weather, its timing, and the impact it could have on the thousands of people here. They say they tell us that this is probably the most weather-aware area in Wisconsin, between the National Weather Service on the ground and the pilots constantly checking flying conditions. Of course, the air show is a big concern tonight. They say they consider both the pilots and crowd safety when planning around weather, especially for night shows when it's dark. But they say it all depends on the speed, size, strength, and severity of the storms. They say lightning could be a game changer.
That will bring an immediate halt to the flying, because that is an immediate danger not only to the pilots but to the crowd as well. You don't want crowds sitting out there in thunderstorms in open areas. You want them to have the ability to take shelter and get out of that.
He adds they do have contingency plans in place in case of severe weather to ensure people are being moved to safety quickly and efficiently. They tell us they've never had to cancel a night show since they started them back in 2010. Last year it did rain for the first time, but just at the end of the show. They're going to continue tracking the weather and will update the crowd on any changes. Live in Oshkosh, keeping you connected, Juliana Falk, NBC 26.
All right, Juliana, thank you. Now to another event bringing in thousands of people outdoors. Tonight is the annual shareholders meeting at Lambeau Field. Team owners are filling Lambeau right now, getting ready for an update from the team about progress as we head into Green and Gold's 100th season. And as shareholders are getting ready tonight, and there is a threat for severe weather, so how are the Packers preparing for it? Let's go now to Max Grossfeld, who's live at Lambeau Field with an update for us. Max.
Mo, the Green Bay Packers are the only team in the NFL and the entire professional sports world to be owned by their community. In fact, the atrium I'm standing in was partially paid for by a stock sale. Tonight, thousands of owners will gather to hear about the future of the team. As they do so, many keep their eyes skyward as rain threatens. Aaron Popke, the team's director of public affairs, says they'll treat it like any other event in the bowl, with safety as the top priority.
Now, if the weather is such where a simple postponement cannot take place, and we know the weather's not going to be good, we'll move the meeting inside and still deliver all the reports by the various team officials and still conduct the business of the meeting that needs to take place. We would just deliver that via closed-circuit TV.
Aside from being able to host the event outside, Popke says he hopes the rain holds off so the meeting can be treated to a flyover of DC-3s. That's the same type of airplane the Green Bay Packers took to a game against the New York Football Giants way back in 1940. That's the first time an NFL team took a plane to fly to an away game. Keep you connected live at Lambeau Field. Max Grossfeld, NBC 26.
And now to some on-the-field stuff. It's not time for kickoff just yet, but today they did get one step closer to it. Sport Director Charlie Sakaitis is live at 5 with more. Charlie.
Mo, we won't see him on the field until tomorrow, but the Packers players reported for camp today, and for the first time in this new season, head coach Mike McCarthy addressed the media where he explained the challenges of merging the returning players with the new talent and coming up with a cohesive unit over the course of training camp.
As we do each and every year, 22% of our football team has changed. And so it's that gap that you're trying to also close between your veteran players and your younger players. So those challenges still exist, and we have a good plan. We'll exercise it, coach it, motivate it, and correct it, and get up and do it again the next day.
And for the guys who will be wearing green and gold this year, that next day, that's tomorrow. That's when training camp officially begins and when this next season starts to move from the theoretical to the practical. As we see this team on the field for the first time, we'll have more from Coach McCarthy coming up in sports. For now, keeping you connected, I'm Charlie Sakaitis for NBC 26.
Almost football season. Thank you so much, Charlie. And the Packers Hall of Fame opened the Jerry Kramer exhibit today. A ribbon cutting was held this morning at the Lambeau Field atrium. It honors the legendary guard and tells his behind-the-scenes stories from his time with the green and gold. Here's what the man himself had to say.
You don't dream these kind of things. Your brain is not capable of imagining this kind of a reception. That's not something you do.
And some of the artifacts on display were Kramer's 1966 jersey. We'll still ahead on NBC 26 at 5. President Trump lashing out at his former attorney after tape conversation between them leaked. Plus, with primary election just around the corner, it is the last day for voter registration. More on that when we come back.
And now, your NBC 26 Storm Shield forecast with meteorologist Gino Recchia.
Welcome back. We do have some showers and thunderstorms that have developed in the last couple of hours. This is just a radar loop from about 2 hours ago. Watch these showers and thunderstorms developing over Waupaca, moving into Shawano County, and even there's additional showers and storms off just to the west of Stevens Point. Now, all of these storms, they're mostly confined along and north of a line from Stevens Point to Green Bay, and they're gradually moving up to the east and northeast. So for the folks who are at Lambeau Field and also EAA and down in Oshkosh, well, right now, it looks like we're okay, but just take a look off towards our west. Plenty of showers and thunderstorms, so eventually we will all be seeing some type of activity making its way into our neck of the woods. However, for the time being, they are staying off towards the west, and a large cluster of showers and storms. And this yellow box represents a severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect until 11 o'clock this evening. The Storm Prediction Center has the majority of us under a slight risk of severe weather, and this stretches all the way up towards the UP of Michigan and then down towards southern Minnesota and northern Iowa. Now, that's because of a cold front. It is moving in towards our direction. This front is acting as a lifting mechanism, causing all that instability in the atmosphere and sparking off vigorously showers and thunderstorms, which are capable perhaps of producing some hail or even some gusty winds. Those are the primary factors for these afternoon and evening storms. So let's time this out, see how this is all going to play along. Here we are at 5:30. Most of the showers and storms confined up to the north near Shawano Mountain, Menominee, some of which may have some small hail and gusty winds. But then watch what happens as we get later on tonight into around 8, 9 o'clock. There's a line of showers and storms that are going to pass through, and this would be more indicative of perhaps some gusty winds associated with them. So we'll have to monitor that threat. We're at 10 o'clock right here, a line from Sturgeon Bay through Green Bay, Appleton, and towards Berlin and Watoma. Then by 11:30, the line moving out of the area, maybe a few isolated showers and storms down towards Sheboygan, but by overnight, we clear out. So once that happens, it looks like quiet weather. The severe threat will be done after about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the evening hours. Now tomorrow, behind it, cool air wraps around it, and with the strong solar radiation, that could actually spark off a few afternoon showers in parts of the area. So keep mindful of that. Might start off sunny, but by the afternoon, we'll have some popcorn cumulus clouds and a few isolated showers out and about across northeast Wisconsin. Right now, temperatures are anywhere from the mid-70s to the lower 80s. It all depends on who's seeing more sunshine than others. In Antigo, it's a bit cloudy, so they're at 74 degrees right now. Winds coming in out of the south and southwest, 5 to 15 miles per hour, mostly 5 to 10, and that will be the case for the next couple of hours, eventually churning out of the west and northwest, 5 to 10 miles, or I should say 10 to 20 miles per hour. For tonight, 63 degrees, showers and thunderstorms likely for the first half. Then we are going to start clearing overnight tonight. For tomorrow, starting sunny, but by the afternoon hours, watch out for a few showers across northeast Wisconsin. Maybe a good idea to keep the umbrella handy. Now, Friday, additional showers possible, and also take a look, 72 degrees on Friday. Our average high temperature for this time of year is 80 degrees, so a bit below average. We do get near averages as we get towards the weekend. Also, a couple shots of some showers and storms, so Sunday and Wednesday most. So for right right now for folks who are at the shareholders conference and also EAA. We have to monitor the radar right now, looking quiet, but later on this evening, it looks like the line of storms will move through.
Make your plans for Saturday, clearly.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, thank you so much, Gino. Well, still ahead on NBC 26 at 5, President Trump lashing out at his former attorney after a conversation between them was leaked. Plus, with primary elections just around the corner, it is the last day for voter registration. More on that when we return. Welcome back. Many critics of President Trump are questioning him after a taped conversation between him and his former attorney Michael Cohen leaked. Here's NBC's Blaine Alexander with more.
Jean-Claude Juncker from
the head of the European Commission at the White House today as President Trump's trade war heats up. But there is another battle brewing over his own recorded words.
Mr. President, are you worried about what Michael Cohen is going to say to prosecutors?
Thank you, Caitlin. Let's keep going.
Are you worried about what is on the other tapes, Mr. President?
Thank you all.
Tapes recorded in 2016 by the president's former attorney Michael Cohen and first aired by CNN. Cohen and candidate Trump discussing money to silence Playboy model Karen McDougal and her claims of an affair which the White House has denied.
When it comes time for the financing, which will be...
Listen, what financing?
We'll have to pay you, so...
At issue, whether there was an effort to conceal the payment, a potential violation of campaign finance laws.
So, no. No.
On Twitter, President Trump lashing out at his one-time confidant. What kind of a lawyer would tape a client? On Capitol Hill, some lawmakers critical.
Look, I don't care about the president's personal life, but I think the issue that matters is his truthfulness.
Others sidestepping it altogether.
Yeah, I don't know. Frankly, there are other things to worry about here.
Specifically, the practical effects of a trade war threatening to claim more casualties. The president reportedly considering steep new tariffs on foreign cars, despite strong opposition from his own party.
And the auto industry is already speaking out against those tariffs. One group predicts that the price of an imported car could go up by as much as $6,000. Blaine Alexander, NBC News, Washington.
And today is also the deadline for voter registration for the state's 2018 partisan primary election. You can register by mail or online. All you have to do is show proof that you live in Wisconsin. The election will be on August 14th. And also, when we come back, more activities at EAA. We'll tell you what they are when we return. Welcome back. An information session was also held today at NWTC Green Bay for Northeast Wisconsin. Construction companies who want to be part of the main project in Racine County. It's part of the Wisconsin First approach, which aims for 60% of the subcontractors to be Wisconsin-based companies.
Because it's so big, no one company could possibly take this on single-handedly. Then on the other extreme, it's so big that the range of potential for companies to be involved in a project of this size is definitely there.
And this was the third phase of an informational session related to Foxconn construction. And now to more AirVenture coverage. Aviation fans will have the chance to check out the French Cricri team this time. The Cricri hasn't been at AirVenture since 1981. The plane is the smallest twin-engine craft and weighs just 170 pounds. This is the first time for this team to perform at Oshkosh, and it's expected to be a showstopper with the plane taking off from the hood of an SUV.
We were inspired by the Great American Air Shows, so we're now unique in Europe doing this and in the States right now.
And you can see the team tomorrow and Saturday. They'll be kicking off the afternoon and night shows. Every day at AirVenture there is a theme, and today was all about the women. The 11th annual Women's Venture is about recognizing and connecting women in aviation. Organizers say it's important and vital to continue to get young women involved in the industry.
And you might also be one of two women at your airport, so it can be hard to find somebody who's had the same experience as you. And this way, this kind of gives us all a platform to say, no, what you've done is pretty cool, and it's worth sharing.
And there are several other events planned throughout the week for women to get involved in. And there is an energy and expectation surrounding the Green Bay Packers' 100th season. How Coach McCarthy is managing those things on the eve of training camp. That's coming up in sports.
And now, NBC 26 Sports with Sports Director Charlie Sakaitis.
Welcome back to the show. On the eve of Packers training camp, there's reason to have high hopes for the upcoming NFL season Here in Green Bay, Coach Mike McCarthy certainly seemed upbeat this morning in his opening press conference, and with more on that, we turn to Kelly Price.
The day before training camp marks the start of a new season, which right now is just a blank slate. But this year is full of excitement for fans and for the team, as it's the Packers' 100th season of football. But at this time of year, we tend to hear the same things about whether this team is Super Bowl ready.
Whether you're favored or not favored, we understand who we are. We're the Green Bay Packers. This is the 2018 version, 100-year anniversary. So there's a lot of great energy around here that we haven't had in the past. We're going to try to take advantage of it.
As for the bad taste still lingering in fans' mouths after last year's 7-9 season,
we all should be better for the negative experiences that we've encountered in the past. And so whether it's our record last year, Aaron's health, all those things. And if I haven't pushed that forward, from a leadership position to our football operations, then, I haven't done a very good job.
Speaking of Rodgers, he's had quite the offseason. You might have caught him on Shark Week, and you might have had to catch your breath after seeing a blue shark didn't take a bite out of his throwing arm. As for Coach McCarthy, he said he didn't watch it, asking today, how did it go? Keeping you connected from Lambeau Field, I'm Kelly Price for NBC 26.
And Mo, a little additional news breaking within the last hour. Both Brian Bulaga and Nick Perry have been added to the team's PUP list. Bulaga still suffering that knee injury, Perry suffering a hand injury, so we'll have to get more on that tomorrow when Coach speaks.
Absolutely. Thank you for that update, Charlie. We'll have a final look at your forecast when we come back.
We're tracking a few showers and thunderstorms moving into the area right now, and one particular is in extreme northern Waupaca County. Some pea-sized hail is possible. A few of the locations are shown on your screen right there as it moves to the east at about 35 miles per hour. For tomorrow, the first Packers practice, we got temperatures in the lower 70s with a few isolated showers.
All right, thank you so much, Chino. And before we go, I do have an announcement to make. This is my last day anchoring here at NBC 26. Starting next month, I'll be reporting at our sister station in Nashville. I've been here for more than a year and a half, and I can't thank all of you enough. This great community has been so friendly and warm to me ever since I got here. It really has truly been an honor and a privilege to share all your stories. I've been humbled to serve you. Northeast Wisconsin will always be a second home to me. And of course, go Pack Go. We'll see you back here tonight. Thank you, guys.